Welcome to issue 8 from Motovision. In this issue we cover rounds 11, 12 and 13 of the AMA Outdoor American Motocross Series, and this time we bring you results from Washougal, Binghamton and Steel City. The two men that emerged supreme were Carmichael and Emig. Then we move on to the Dutch 125 GP, where Coyote and Puzar carry on battling away. Then across to Switzerland for the 250cc GP, where Everts is king yet again. And then we went across to Germany for the final round, where Pit Byra found the form that he's been looking for all year and proved to be unbeatable. Then it was finally across to the mud and Belgium for the 50th running of the Motocross Des Nations, where the British riders really had a great weekend. We hope you enjoy the tape. We've had a wonderful time making it, and we look forward to seeing you again in '98.
Hello everyone, Art Ekman along with David Bailey and Davey Coombs from Washougal, Washington. It is round 11 of 13 rounds on the 97 season. The weather is absolutely perfect under the circumstances. We'll have two motos, each moto 30 minutes plus 2 laps. What's running through Kevin Windham's mind right now?
Probably wish I wouldn't have had a couple of those DNFs early in the season. Then this would be a race to the finish. But today, he's got to beat Carmichael in both motos to preserve that title.
Here you see the uphill start that David Bailey was talking about as we're just about set for our first moto of the 125s, and they're off and running. Kevin Windham with a very good start, number 7 on the blue bike. He's got the whole shot. Carmichael is not far away. Brian Deegan goes down, number 28, getting the gold helmet, the gold boots, and the gold bike all dirty.
There's Carmichael and Pingree in a drag race up the hill. Carmichael doesn't weigh much. He wins that battle.
Carmichael to the inside. It's Carmichael moving into second place.
He's going to do everything he can to try and get around Kevin right here and discourage him. Lamson trying to stay close. These guys already in one lap. They got about 3 seconds. Not a good sign. 3 seconds a lap is a long time by the end of the moto.
Ricky Carmichael right now is not waiting to make his move. We're about 3 minutes into the moto. Number 70 takes over the lead. Can Windham come firing back on the outside? No, Carmichael shuts the door.
Look at this. He goes around the outside, maintains his momentum, and cuts all the way back across in front of the track just to not allow Kevin to have any chance to get him back. Kevin having to switch all the way back to the inside.
With a lot at stake for Kevin Windham, trying to finish the season with a big positive note. Can he stay with Ricky Carmichael? The third member of our broadcast team, Davey Coombs.
Thanks, guys. I'm down here with Johnny O'Mara, the mentor of Ricky Carmichael. Johnny, it's been a pretty big season for you guys, and today's a really big day.
Yeah, Ricky's been working unreal this year, and as he's proven right now, he's out there leading it with Kevin right on his tail, and if he could stay ahead of Kevin both motos, he'll have this #1 plate, which he really wants here today.
You know, when you asked me about at the start, what's he thinking about? Well, of course he's thinking about those DNFs, and this would be a lot closer title if that didn't happen. But now that he really doesn't have a chance to win the title, he might be able to preserve it one more week as he blitzes by.
Oh, Kevin Windham retakes the lead in the whoop section. Looks like we're going to have a back and forth battle bar to bar. Carmichael, Windham. Can Windham keep the speed and take that inside line away from Carmichael? It's Kevin Windham reestablishing his advantage.
Well, Carmichael's just not the kind of kid that'll give up, and Kevin's just so smooth, so clever out there that doesn't seem like he's riding quite as aggressive, but believe me, he's giving it all he's got. And in these last few races, he's going to want to beat this kid and just to prove to himself and everyone else that if he hadn't had those DNFs earlier in the year, he could have won this.
Oh, Ricky Carmichael to the inside. You cannot blink with these two guys on the track.
Coming around to that ski jump, this time Carmichael goes all the way to the inside to protect that inside line. He's been going to the right.
Kevin Windham back out in front. What a crowd pleaser. That's what amazes me about this kid, his maturity and the way he comes back and learns from every mistake he makes. It's Ricky Carmichael to the inside. Can he hold the lead? As they go to the mechanics area after the finish line, there's Ollie Seymour trying to bring on Windham. Remember, Vegas is the sign.
Try to anchor his mind somewhere else, somewhere where he was defeated Carmichael and was unstoppable. That was Vegas.
I don't think he had much time to see that pit board, though, coming through there. Ricky Carmichael, we have had 6 lead changes already here in Moto 1. Number 29, Scott Sheak, trying to make a move now on David Pingree. Number 57, Sheak Goes to the outside, just gets by. Here comes Lamson into the whoops. Whoa, bucking Bronco. Lammy's down. That's a dangerous spot, too, because the riders can't see coming around the corner. We've mentioned it on an earlier telecast, but Ricky Carmichael inches closer to becoming the very first rider ever from an independent team to win a Nationals championship. The checkers for Ricky. Moto number 1 is in the record books. Boy, Moto 1 was such an exciting affair. We'll see who can pick off the 1/900 Pro Race pull shot money as they're off and running for Moto number 2. Michael Brandis, number 33, getting the whole shot money. What we see right there, Damon Huffman, number 17.
If you go wide, somebody can duck under you, but if you do follow, that's the price you can pay. If somebody messes up, you're involved too.
Number 33, Brandis, his only top 5 appearance in a moto was a 4th place finish at Mount Morris. An 8th and 2nd moto gave him a 4th overall. To the inside is Huffman. Carmichael makes the pass. Carmichael moving into 2nd place on Team Kawasaki's Damon Huffman. Windham trying to catch up as Ricky Carmichael now has the edge. Let's look at the battle for 1st place. Carmichael, he's wasting no time taking on Brandis. Michael might as well just be waving him on. He gave him enough room there, David.
Yeah, there's a couple ways to look at it. I mean, one is he could have gone to that corner and just overshot that berm a little bit and gone wide and took the line away. But then again, he's seen Carmichael coming.
Brandis coming back, cuts to the inside, retakes the lead. So he's not that anxious to give it up. Carmichael, though, with the steam. Carmichael, Brandis, but look at Windham on the move, passing Huffman.
Windham's got that section dialed. He comes out of that corner, jumps the first 3 whoops, and then that just sets him up all the way down the rest of that section. And Huffman had a little bobble out of the corner, rode over the first one, and that's the difference at the end of the section. If you don't get over the first 2 or 3, you're done.
Ricky goes by the mechanics area. I wonder if they had on the pit board, it's time to pull away because it looks like he stepped it up a bit. Look at this, David. Windham showed him a wheel in the last turn. Here comes Kevin Windham to the outside. And we've got another leader. Kevin Windham has done it again.
And you can see what he's doing. Every corner, he's inside, he's outside.
Carmichael has the advantage here. Oh, bar to bar. Windham in the wooded area. I don't know if he can come back on Ricky.
Not much room through there, but Carmichael certainly found some. This will be interesting here.
Side by side, Windham takes the lead. Carmichael cuts to the inside. He's got the lead back again. Watts saying, be positive, race the track, look ahead, keep the pressure on, comes from the other crew, David.
Perfect advice from both camps.
Damon Huffman is making a move on Kevin Windham for 2nd place. Carmichael, Windham, and then Huffman. Huffman to the inside. And I would think Damon has the advantage, too, that Kevin just cannot catch Ricky Carmichael.
Yeah, and I think what happened is in the early part of the race, he gave it all he had, and Carmichael had a little bit more, and now you can see, I mean, he doesn't look motivated out there anymore. The title's gone, he knows it, and this battle right here is very insignificant for him. I think Huffman is just riding a little bit better race, coming up from behind, and Kevin doesn't have the motivation to race with him right now. He's done all that with Carmichael, and he's kind of done for the day. He reminds me of myself a little bit in that he can battle and mix it up for a while, but not the whole race. I could never really do that much more than 4 or 5 laps. Well, they've obviously done the right things with him through the amateur ranks, and otherwise he wouldn't be doing what he is here today. I'm really happy for them all, and I'm really happy for Mitch Payton, too, who's been out there for so long. Now he's got an outdoor title to go with all those indoors.
The checkered flag, and he goes directly from the amateur ranks to win a 125 National.
All right, RC, how's it feel to be the 1997 125 National Motocross Champ?
Man, this is like a dream come true. I never thought I'd be able to do it on my first try. I don't know, it just hasn't sunk in yet, but I'm pretty happy.
Well, I know there's a lot of pressure on you today, but you responded great. Both motos that Windham getting in front of you a little bit, and then you got right on him.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, actually. You know, we kind of battled it out and made time pass by a little faster, and all the training I did this year paid off. You know, I guess all that training was worth it.
All right.
Jeff Emig winning the last 3 in a row, holds a 69-point lead on John Dowd. McGrath and Lusk, pretty good race there for third.
It certainly is. Lusk has shown us some speed. He won the Redbud round and he slipped a little bit off the pace since then, but with Jeremy struggling, Lusk could take over third before the end of the series.
The big anticipation, though, here in Moto 1 of the 250s, can Jeff Emig equal what Carmichael did in the 125s, and that's win a crowd. Albertyn a good start, Emig a good start, Dowd out in front, but getting the whole shot money is Anthony Pocaroba, number 92. John Dowd is right there behind him, number 14, as they go into turn 3, and Pocaroba slides out. Dowd has to go off the track to avoid him. And our new leader is, guess who? Jason McCormick. McCormick, number 52. What a great emotional time of it this crowd is going to have with us when they see him come out of the woods.
And there's John Dowd trying to get restarted. Now, John Dowd basically had the whole shot, but he drifted wide. Pocaroba got underneath him, then fell right in front of him. So the irony there, John Dowd's going to have to come from last, and starting to get dry out there. So coming from last, it's going to be a little dusty, hard to see, get back up to the front. And Emig's got a great start, so that's going to be a huge advantage in the points. Jason's riding good right now. It's not like he's holding Emig up at all. He's still maintaining a little bit of lead over him. The longer he stays out front, the more this crowd's going to be into it.
John Dowd in the mechanics area now. New clutch lever, it looks like. Boy, they got the entire Yamaha crew surrounding him. Steve Butler and Pete Steinbrecher all helping out.
Well, John's helping too. John knows how to work on a bike. These guys have to work on their practice bikes all week. But sometimes you get like 4 or 5 people trying to work on a clutch lever and no one gets anywhere. You're just in each other's way.
Look at here. The challenge at Jeff Emig right now is number 6, Larry Ward of Honda of Troy. He cuts inside, but Emig has a good angle going into that corner. Look out, bar to bar. It's Ward and Emig. This is for second place, remember. McCormick is still our leader and hanging back right there in good position. Team Suzuki's Greg Albertyn. Jason McCormick in the lead, but for how long? On the inside, Jeff Emig, very easily our leader. Here's Larry Ward, the pass attempt now. Number 6 has the edge. Can he hold it? Whoa, it's close going over that jump. Larry Ward fighting hard to hold on to it. McCormick riding on edge as well, but it's Larry Ward in second place.
I'm anxious to see how McCormick does the rest of this moto in his first 4 or 5 laps. He's still got Albertyn back there. Albertyn just making the move on the inside. After that, they've got McGrath.
Albertyn, though, trying to show him a wheel before the whoops. Albertyn to the inside, Ward to the outside, but Albertyn got a good sling on the inside. And Albertyn has moved into second place. That was a very fine move in tight quarters. McCormick, number 52. Michael Craig takes to a different line to the outside. And it pays off. Michael Craig looking back at McCormick, makes the pass. And right there is Ryan Hughes. Ryan Hughes, number 9, behind Craig.
A little bobble there through that whoop section by McCormick and gets passed by both Craig and Hughes. Hughes with a way outside line in that corner just before this one.
Well, he's really looked relaxed with that second place at Troy, the highlight of his season, and really looking strong at that point. Jeremy McGrath, though, taking advantage, has the long slingshot. And a nice pass by Jeremy McGrath. McGrath looking very smooth today. Ward, the 250 representative all season long for Honda of Troy. Here comes Ryan Hughes. Hughes, great speed. Pick your right rut, Ryan. And he does so.
That was just sheer strength and speed and determination right there by Hughes.
This will be the 7th consecutive moto victory for Jeff Emig. You don't think he's on a championship rush right now?
He is, and you can see how confident he is, how relaxed now. On the starting line, cracking jokes with everybody. He doesn't ever look tense.
Let's see who gets the whole shot. Jeff Emig, a lot of incentive now, as the title is within striking distance in this moto. The big factor is, will John Dowd perform well to extend it for another week? Oh, great start for number 1. Jeff Emig, the whole shot. He's right where he wants to be. Jason McCormick, another outstanding start in second place, number 52. Jason McCormick ending up in 8th spot in the first moto and starting strong once again. It's tougher for the privateers, though, don't you think, to keep on that emotional edge and physical training as well?
Yeah, there's a little bit more to do during the week.
Oh, Albertyn goes down. Looked like he planted his shoulder. As of this point, we don't have any word as to what Larry Ward's future plans are, if they're going to be with Honda of Troy or where, but he certainly made a nice clean pass in a very difficult area to pass in. Michael Craig making the move on McCormick now. He's got a good angle. McCormick going very wide. And zip, the Honda of Troy goes right by us. Here's Ward. Now Michael Craig, McCormick, Ryan Hughes, and Albertyn. This is where the battle is, ladies and gentlemen, because Jeff Emig is pulling away.
Craig works his way around. Sets it up for Ryan Hughes, too.
Oh, Ryan Hughes just shooting up in there, making an easy time of it. McCormick not trying to hold anybody back, of course. Ryan Hughes, good inside move on Michael Craig. So now it's Hughes, it's Craig, and it's Albertyn. And here's the next tight action. Albertyn slipping to the left of Michael Craig. So Albertyn now in pursuit of Ryan Hughes. This could surprise Rhino.
Well, Rhino has no idea Albertyn made a move that quick. He's coming strong. Look at him go.
Oh, this is amazing when you consider that Albie was on the dirt not long ago. Oh, the speed on the ski jump. And Albertyn. And oh, they banging bars. Hughes, Albertyn. Albertyn comes out of it a little bit better. Oh, my goodness. What a fan-pleasing battle we've got going between Albertyn and Hughes. Dowd, a very strong rider. Turned 32 this weekend.
That's just amazing.
But he only started his professional career, really, at 21.
Oh,
into the banners. Michael Craig picked up a banner. Ryan Hughes goes down, and Dowd picks up another spot.
There's nothing worse than seeing a guy laying on the ground and going by him and thinking, okay, well, that's that. You know, good thing he fell. I don't have to pass him. And then he comes right back at you like this.
Dowd, who's recently been known for his great battles, especially at Unadilla with Jeff Emig, has had a tremendous comeback here. Whoa, that might affect things. The banner and the wheel. Will he have a rear brake? He doesn't need a brake to do what he's doing right now, passing Larry Ward.
I don't think he even cares if he has a brake or not. He doesn't look like he wants to slow down much.
Mike Kudrowski, Damon Bradshaw, a guy named David Bailey with 30 career wins. This would be number 31, David.
Oh, well, he earned it.
He sure did. Jeff Emig with the checkers. He gets the sweep and continues on toward the 250 championship. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the beautiful rolling hills of upstate New York for round 12 of our 13-event series in AMA Motocross. 75 degrees, only 40% humidity, perfect conditions. Despite the fact that Ricky Carmichael already has the championship in hand, I think we can expect a prideful performance from both Windham and Carmichael, plus those other riders trying to make their mark, David.
Well, there's some new guys, but look at how the riders are all sitting straight up now. They've all learned. They don't forget right at the end to lean forward.
Right next to each other, Windham and Carmichael, and it's Brock Sellards with a good start, number 80. He gets the whole shot. Oh, some carnage in turn one. Windham with the two Kawasaki's in front of him, and the Honda on his tail as Ricky Carmichael. Now, here comes Windham cutting to the inside, moving into second place easily. Good, clean pass. Carmichael, Windham, Brock Sellards, and Stefan Roncada is the Honda of Troy rider who is just in front of two Team Honda riders, Scott Sheak and Steve Lamson.
Normally that Honda horsepower is first at the corner. Sheak and Lamson, pretty good starts, but not right up front. That concrete starting pad really changes things.
Ricky Carmichael, number 70. Good speed coming down the hill. The off-camber turn. Whoa, Windham almost lost it.
Coming in from the outside, and it looked like he was trying to get over atop one of the berms, get out back into that main groove. Almost lost the front end. Good save.
Battle for fourth as we come off the leaders. There you see Lamson approaching Roncada. Roncada has had a good learning year. what you would expect out of a first year in 125 action.
Well, just like the leader, Carmichael, he's seen all these racetracks, or most of them, for the first time.
Here comes Lamson to the outside. Steve Lamson, of course, with a wealth of experience. And Roncada really riding on the edge, retakes the position. Roncada doing a great job holding off the #1 plate. Back out in front, Windham now. Look at the bar-to-bar action. He's putting the wheel out in front to show Ricky Carmichael he still means business.
RC's had a lot of pressure for a while now. Wyndham's doing exactly what he should be doing. He's doing it with magic marker on the back of his jersey. Switching to the inside right there. That was interesting. Jumped all the way across.
Oh, good move by Windham. Scott Sheak slowing down. Let's check in with Davey in the mechanics area to see what the problem might be.
All right, Bobby, tough break. If I'm not mistaken, you guys are missing a foot peg.
Yeah, it looks like the foot peg broke off the frame, so he's going to have to just keep soldiering around out there and get what we can.
Is there any chances you can come in and pit, or is there just nothing you can do about that?
I don't know if the bracket's broken off the frame or what, so I just want him to stay out there and try and get as many points as he can. That's all we can do.
Ouch. Off that double jump, he's coming down, it's like jumping off the roof of your house. No foot peg. You can see there as he went by, he's holding his foot off to the side. About 10 minutes or so to go. I mean, just try to imagine standing on one leg for 10 minutes. That'd be easy. Try to do it on a motorcycle, the suspension compressing, all that G-force, landing off a jump, so you'll have to spend a lot more time on the seat.
And these guys are so youthful. We're going to see this rivalry hopefully for many, many years. Windham holding on to the edge. Tight turn. Carmichael right on his rear wheel. Oh, the closest finish of the year for the 125s. Carmichael and Kevin Windham exciting the fans here in upstate New York. They do the high five.
Both these guys are pretty excited. The crowd definitely getting a great show. It almost looked like Carmichael thought he won the way he was celebrating. He was just stoked with a great race. I don't know if he's going to tell us what his technique exactly is, but here's part of it, and that's warming up the tire, laying down a little rubber. See guys doing that. You just don't want to do it too much. You'll tear all the sharp knobs off of your tire, and then you pay the price out there on the racetrack. But the soil here is pretty loamy. You need those good sharp knobs.
Once again, we look back at a very prideful rivalry. Ricky Carmichael looking to rebound against Kevin Windham and prevent what happened last year when Kevin Windham was able to sweep. They're right there together, number 70 and number 7 at the gate. Set for Moto 2, 125s. Well, when you don't get a good start off that platform like Roncada, you can get boxed out. Lamson, Steve Lamson, his first hole shot of the year. Chad Pedersen is right there. Kevin Windham and number 70, Ricky Carmichael. The stage is set for another great battle. This time, add Steve Lamson in the mix. Ricky Carmichael passing Kevin Windham on the inside. Now he goes after Lammy.
That first moto was so exciting. Now with Lamson in there, I can just imagine it's going to be even better.
Lamson and Ricky Carmichael battling it out up the hill with Windham right behind him. Carmichael makes the pass. Now Lamson comes back. Back and forth we go. Carmichael the better edge there.
Well, he is just relentless. This is the most aggressive I've seen anybody ride since I saw Bob Hanna in his early days. He just bursted onto the scene, and he didn't care who was the established guy, who was leading the points, who was there, who was expected to do whatever. He just said, I'm going to go faster than these guys. Whatever it takes to get to the finish line first, that's what I'm going to do. And that's the way Carmichael rides all the time, indoors and out.
Kevin Windham putting the heat on Lamson, passes to the inside.
Well, that was amazing. Just so aggressive right around the inside. Almost got a little out of shape there, but he knows that's a desperate move. He's got to get around Lamson to stay with Carmichael. Lamson was off the pace in the first moto, so for Windham, he's got to be thinking, if I get behind him for too long, the chances of catching Carmichael are going to be pretty slim.
Our Suzuki Field summary, you see Ron Tichner rounding out the top 10. David, is probably too much to ask to see a finish as close as we saw in Moto 1. You can't get it much closer, but we certainly can anticipate now another great rivalry battle.
Oh,
that's Damon Huffman. Huffman is down a dangerous spot, too. Holds his arms up. Pirolio went right over the bike.
Here's the bike.
Roncada jumps off the course. Gets right back on, not losing a position, not gaining a position as well. Let's take another look.
Well, he just hit a bump there, swapped out of control. The bike, the back end pitched out to his right. It angled him all the way to the inside.
After that great battle in Moto 1, sees his way clear here in Moto 2. Of course, Carmichael becoming the first independent team rider ever to win a 125 national title. The checkers for Ricky. This is history in the making. We'll see who takes off and gets the whole shot. Emmig's good at it, but look at there. It's the four-stroke, number 20, Doug Henry gets the whole shot. Hughes in good position right now to take the lead. Hughes, our new leader.
There goes Bradshaw the same way Hughes did to the inside.
So now it's Hughes, Henry and Bradshaw battling it out for second place. Larry Ward coming up in third or fourth. Emmig really on the move right now. We mentioned earlier he needs only a 20th. Button just gets out of his way. Emmig is also making a move up as you see him on our screen. Dowd has taken the lead away from Ryan Hughes.
Great line. The same line Emmig was using. He comes over that double jump up there at the top. Dowd picks it up.
That's right, he takes the checkered flag coming all the way back from 15th at the start. And Jeff Emmig coming across the line right now. Number 1 is number 1 once again.
All right, champ, congratulations on another 250cc title.
Yeah, thanks. I was real happy. I was happy that I put in a real good ride at Moto. When I was behind, the whole little pack, I knew that it was John behind me, and I made a mistake in the back, and he got by. And, so I was just chasing him the whole time, and I couldn't, I just couldn't ever get my rhythm, until we all kind of broke apart there. And I was, I was looking for the win. I was charging after him.
Look at that, Dowdy, number 14, right next to Emmig. Boy, they both get out of there really fast. John Dowd, Jeff Emmig. Emmig has the inside track. And Emmig the whole shot. Whoa, here he comes. John Dowd on the uphill. Emmig has the advantage. Dowdy looks to the inside. He's looking for every opportunity he possibly... Oh, Dowd! He doesn't go down, he gets off. The motor is still running. There you see it there. He only lost one spot. Lucky for John Dowd.
All he's thinking about is getting in the way of Dowd because Dowd is clearly faster.
And of course, this is a wonderful psychological effect for Dowdy should he pass him and finish the season strong. Dowd just turning 32, makes the pass on Emmig. Can Emmig come back? Look at Dowdy to the outside. Oh, neither one of these riders have anything to lose right now.
What a great ride. Going down and getting back up, regaining his composure, just like Stanton said in the Honda tip.
Exactly. I was just going to bring that up. Dowd just did exactly what Jeff Stanton told all the riders out there and all the young people to do. The checkers. It is a sweep for John Dowd. His third win of the year, his 6th podium. Number 14 comes through in the race. Some 20,000 fans anticipating this fierce rivalry between the two riders starting right next to each other, Kevin Windham and Ricky Carmichael, as we get set for Moto number 1. Chad Watts.
See all the tear-offs stacked up on his goggles right there. If he doesn't get a good start, a little bit of water they put on the racetrack, he'll go through 2 or 3 of those in the first lap.
Chad Watts, I wonder what he told him right before the gate drops.
Win. Don't get the bike muddy.
He's done his share. 8 wins. He could tie the all-time mark set by Steve Lamson last year if he should win this event here today. Kevin Windham, his 8th hole shot of the year. And right there is Steve Lamson moving into 2nd place. Carmichael 3rd, Huffman, Pichon, Titchener in that order.
You see coming down that hill right there that the ruts lines are much more defined. Usually the soil's a little looser and they can go pretty much anywhere.
One wonders right now, David, when Ricky Carmichael might make his move, as he's just moved ahead of Steve Lamson into 2nd place. Ricky Carmichael, number 70, now in pursuit of Kevin Windham. And look at Ricky Carmichael, takes the inside line. Boy, it didn't take him long.
Look at him right here, just charges into that inside line, lays it over, keeps that foot way up off the ground, out of the way. Windham just went a little too far to the outside there, left the door open, and Carmichael's the kind of rider who'll take it. Look how aggressive. When you go from the battle from 4th up to the lead, you really see the difference. keeping that foot way up out of the way. It's a little easier to do for him, too, because he's shorter.
Kevin Windham still hanging close in second place. They're starting to pull away a little bit from Steve Lamson now.
These guys are just pushing so
Whoa!
hard.
Looked like he put a kickstand down. It was his leg. Got caught up in the rut. Kevin Windham takes the lead back again. Here comes Ricky Carmichael bar to bar. What a battle. Oh, the fans love this one. Talk about a unique line.
Yeah, watch what happens right here. He leans the bike over. See how deep the rut is? It hits the shift lever, knocks it into neutral. Great balance to get back up and put that thing into gear. He lost the lead, but still right there putting the pressure on them.
Watch this.
Trying to just create a new line and do something.
Amazing.
Jump over that inside little barrier there. But you can tell when he's riding, it looks like he's having a good time. Everything's new for him. You know, he hasn't seen a lot of these tracks. However, this was the first one he saw as a pro. Everything's new for him. He's out there just having a great time. After about 2 or 3 years, we'll see if he still has the same kind of enthusiasm.
Also, that enthusiasm lots of times is based on, you know, how beat up he's gotten over those couple of years, 3 years.
Yeah, an injury sometimes can change things a little bit for you and slow you down. Carmichael, as we all know, takes chances. So an injury is highly likely the way he rides, but so far he's stayed injury-free and he's in excellent condition, and that always helps to stay injury-free.
Carmichael showing him a wheel. He wants the inside line.
All you amateurs, watch this kid. Look at him work inside, outside, creates the pass.
Oh, great pass by Carmichael. He makes it stick. Windham, though, not willing to let it go.
Watch how these guys ride. They both refuse to follow. Always trying to go outside, inside, square the corner, use a little bit different rut. Look at that, another pass.
Windham right back again. Oh, what a great 125 opening moto we've got on our hands here. Just about one turn away from victory for Ricky Carmichael with a good lead on Kevin Windham. The checkers for Ricky. Ricky Carmichael on the inside spot. Kevin Windham right next to him. And we're set to go. The gate's about ready to drop for moto number 2 from Delmont, Pennsylvania. And they're off. Kevin Windham, a great start. Windham taking some of his own advice there from the interview after the first moto. Kevin Windham, a hole shot. He is our leader.
It's mental. These guys are all the same pace pretty much. I mean, we've seen them fluctuate just a little bit week to week, but they're all capable of the same pace.
Lamson, Casey Johnson, Scott Sheak, Pichon. Pretty much the orders they went through. There's Roncata 112.
Terrible start for Huffman this time. I think he might have been sleeping at the start, not visualizing. It's hard to say, but either way, it didn't work out very good for him. Had a good run going in the first moto till some bike problems, and like Windham said, it's hard to have your head in the right place and ride your best, and it's been that kind of a day for Huffman.
All the fast riders are up front. Whoa, Carmichael slipped out. Windham, a great break for him. Trying to restart number 70. Lamson blitzing by him. Karsten nips a rider there. I can't tell who's down.
Well, there is plenty of time for him to catch up the pace he's got, but he's got to get his way around Huffman. He just jammed around that corner right there. Great technique. Huffman's got a good pace. I think those two can hook up and work their way to the front.
It's got to be a good feeling for this young man to be headed toward a victory in the final race of the year, David Bailey, especially after all the frustrations he had earlier in this season. Kevin Windham looked like he was going to try a heel clicker.
Lamson's not that far behind him, really, and watch right here. He starts to do it, and he's going, nope. I think he over-jumped that plateau a little bit and realized, if I do that, I'm going to jeopardize my position here. You can see Lamson just back there behind him. Kind of looks over the fans like, well, I kind of blew that, sorry.
Tim Ferry, a lapper as Kevin Windham now, just moments away from the checkered flag.
Talked about the guys out there, the top guys anyway, all being able to ride good and ride the same pace, but it's who has their head on their shoulders that day, and who's the most confident and focused and able to deal with those circumstances that prevails, and today he got the job done.
The final turn, the checkered flag, and Windham has his 5th moto win of the year, his 3rd overall. Steve Lamson will finish in 2nd, Scott Sheak 3rd, Pichon and Roncata rounding out the top 5. Ricky Carmichael all the way from 30th back to 6th place.
Tell us about your victory lap. Looks like you went back to give the fans a little more.
Yeah, well, I gooned out over the tabletop on the last lap, and you know, they've just been so loud and cheering me on the whole race. So I definitely, you know, had to go back and, you know, I guess redo it the right way, I guess you could say.
All right, well, it's a good way to end the season, Kevin. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
We're back in Delmont, Pennsylvania, Steel City Raceway, getting ready for the 250 Series finale. Even though the title is already wrapped up by Jeff Emig, his second consecutive title as we see him here, the final race of the season does have some good ramifications. Getting set for our first moto. Starting to rev up. This is a good long start. Number 2, Jeremy McGrath. Number 1, Emig. It's Jeremy McGrath getting the edge of the corner. Albertyn and Ward, Craig also good starts. Oh, look at Emig edge in front. Now here comes Jeremy McGrath. So Jeremy McGrath will get the whole shot money, but he also has the lead out of that second turn. Oh, Doug Henry is down on the 4-stroke. He's going to have to get it rolling to get it started again.
After getting the whole shot in the first moto last week in New York. Oh, what a different start for him today. He's going to have to come through 40 riders. That's not easy to do.
After laying out 6 races because of those broken arms, it's just good to see him back on the track. Here comes Albertyn, dicing with Emig for second place. Jeremy McGrath, number 2. Emig, number 1. Albertyn. Whoa, Craig gets out of sorts there, looks back and sees Larry Ward, Honda of Troy, on his tail.
Looking good for Suzuki right now. Both those guys getting off the line, Jeremy and Albertyn. Great starts. They got the power heading up the hill. Albertyn really making Emig protect his line right now. He wants to go after McGrath, but he can't leave the door open or Albie will sneak in there.
Out in front is Jeremy McGrath, but he's been unable to pull away from those top contenders. As we take a look at John Dowd in 6th place. Dowdy with not the best start in the world. He's coming off a win last week. Dowdy coming up over the hilly section. Ooh, he cased it hard. John Dowd goes down, lands on his feet after a somersault. Looks like the bike is still going. No, he's going to have to restart it and turn around. We've got Emig in 2nd place behind number 2, Jeremy McGrath. Then Craig, Michael Craig, number 15, Larry Ward, and then Albertyn. So Albertyn has lost a couple of positions, David.
Yeah, that would just take a little mistake somewhere, overshoot a berm, and both those Honda and Troy guys were right there to take advantage of it.
Touching wheels in the corner.
You make a little mistake like that, go down hard.
Here comes Albertyn. He's got the inside track, and he moves in front of Larry Ward. And here's a classic matchup. Number 1 and number 2 battling it out for first place. Jeff Emig on the inside, showing Jeremy McGrath a wheel or two. Can he take him? McGrath has the good line through the corner, but goes wide. Emig inched out in front just for a second, but he's still bar to bar with Jeremy McGrath. McGrath the inside line. How will it set up? Oh, nice jump by Emig. He leaped into position to pass Jeremy McGrath. That's that time of the year, and look at this. Michael Craig makes the move on Jeremy McGrath.
That was amazing. Craig came out of there like he was shot out of a cannon. Made it look a little more impressive because Jeremy made a slight bobble coming out of the corner, but front wheel didn't even touch. Craig just rode the rear wheel down those stair steps.
So Craig now is in good position if something should happen to our leader. Jeff Emig going by, and he takes part of the course marker with him. Some of it might have wrapped around that rear wheel. That could affect his brake. Let's see if Michael Craig can take advantage of it from 2nd place. Jeremy McGrath has also pulled up a little closer in 3rd.
Looked like it broke loose. That's not quite as bad as the stuff they have in the Supercross.
Whoa, Michael Craig doubles. He goes right by Emig. Emig looking a little cautious. Jeremy McGrath now is putting the challenge to number 1, Jeff Emig.
Emig knows he went wide there. See him looking down. He's got that all collected in the rear wheel, and it's on the brake side if he's looking to his right.
Okay, J-Bone, you're always the calmest guy in the pits. But you got to be worried. It looks like he's got some of that tape stuck in his rear wheel.
Yeah, I seen him go off the track up here, and the banners kind of got wrapped up in there. I actually got all my tools to dig it out, get it done, if it was still not working, but it looked like it was working when he came back around, so hopefully he can work back up to the front.
Is the problem with the wheel going forward, or the brakes not working?
It's wrapped up around the disc, so it's kind of melts on there, and then the brakes don't work. That's the main thing. It won't stop the wheel, though. Bike's too fast.
A smile of confidence in his machine and his work now is Emig putting the pressure on McGrath. Michael Craig, you see just out in front now as Emig in pursuit of McGrath. Whoa, what a gutsy move.
right across in front of him. McGrath almost clipped his wheel. McGrath counted it perfect, came right back around the inside, squared him off.
Here comes Emig to the inside. Looked like he might have even touched a little rubber with Jeremy McGrath, and it's Jeff Emig moving into second place. Look out, Michael Craig. We still have the battle on, though, as Jeremy's not willing to let him off the hook. It's Albertyn right behind Jeremy McGrath.
Craig will hear the crowd and know something went on back there.
And a great crowd in that area, too, as they come up the hill. Michael Craig, can he withstand the pressure of the points champion? Plus Larocco, Hughes, Dowd, and Swink rounding out our top 10. He's got a great moto put together so far, but he looks back once again. He's not focusing on his own race, looking out in front, as you said. Here comes Emig. Oh, great place to pass, too. And Albertyn right now duking it out with Jeremy McGrath, his teammate.
He's all over him.
Albertyn, whoa, puts the old squeeze on Jeremy McGrath that time. Emig just breezing toward the checkered flag. Here he comes, the final turn. And look at right behind him, catching up a little bit was Michael Craig. So it was boom, boom, boom for the first three places. Emig, Craig, and Albertyn. Michael Craig wondering if he can hold up that kind of performance. Number 15 against Jeff Emig. And then Jeremy McGrath right next to Emig on the right side. We're underway, Moto 2. Whoa, Emig leaning in a little bit. Jeremy had to back off. 1/900 pro shot money goes to Emig, number 1. But look at Michael Craig moving into second place. It's a battle for third. Mike Larocco, a good start. Michael Craig in second place. Mike Larocco, number 5, makes the challenge, and he moves into second place. Look out, Craig. You've got another rider right behind you, and Greg Albertyn.
Craig looking all over the place.
Oh, gets a little nudge there from the South African. Still continues on. Is able to hop back into the action as Ezra Lusk and Jeremy McGrath tighten things up. Whoa, Ezra cranked the throttle, shot through the air.
A great line through there. I haven't seen anybody do that quite that good. He just got out of there. He actually takes just a moment to get himself set up and just sits down to get all that preload, compresses the suspension so it rebounds more, and he gets all that lift. Larocco, Craig, Lusk, Albertyn. Oh, Craig makes a mistake, goes over the berm.
And right there to take advantage of it is Ezra Lusk. And here comes Albertyn now on Michael Craig. Craig slipping from second, could end up in 5th by the time they come over this hill. Not quite. Albertyn, though, still hanging close. He takes the inside route. Greg Albertyn pushing number 15 back another notch. And Jeremy McGrath is on the move.
On the Yamaha now. Renewed motivation.
Oh, John Dowd goes over the bars.
Looked like he clipped that stake there. He had it laid over. That may have pulled on the front brake lever. See if we can tell. Yep, he hits that stake right there in the ground with the front brake, I believe, and it just locked up the front wheel and stood the bike right up on the nose. You don't see that very often. Taking Albertyn's advice.
That's right.
Yeah, he's tough. He's one of those guys that can go down because he's giving it 110%. Gets up, doesn't seem to matter. As long as he doesn't bend the bike, he's still a threat. There he goes.
Look at that. Squeezing to the inside on Jeremy McGrath. John Dowd. McGrath acted like he was offended by the pass.
That looks like it could change. He's still close enough to Albertyn. He's got John Dowd right there.
Is Dowdy incredible? He's gone down twice, and still he's in the top 6.
Oh, down again.
Not just as I said. It's a good thing there's not a 3 knockdown rule here in motocross. Larocco has pulled up fairly close to Emig, but no danger. The checkers fly for Jeff Emig. His 7th sweep of the year for his 7th overall victory.
All right, Jeff, what a way to wrap up the best year of your life. A 1-1 here at Steel City, last national of the year, another national championship.
Yeah, I'm just extremely happy, to go 1-1 again. I was kind of, I was wondering if I had too much competition here at the end of the year, like if I was slipping a little bit after last week. But, man, it feels great, to go out 1-1. And, I can't say enough about my mechanic, Jeremy Albrecht, and my team, Team Kawasaki for helping me out.
Well, I tell you what, I know a lot of times you've come to Steel City, you've been in the thick of things. This is the first time you came here when there wasn't a championship on the line because you already owned it, but you still gave it 100%.
Yeah, I sure did. It's the safest way to race when you're out front by yourself. You know, when you get back in the back and you're battling with guys, that's when it gets a little bit dangerous. So it was real important to get the 1/900 pro race money there, that second moto, and you know, it was close both times, but at least I got it one of the times again, and I'd like to thank them for that. And I mean, you know, my dad and Lonnie and my trainer John Hall. I mean, everybody. It's just, you know, it's just awesome. I'm just so happy.
All right, well, Emmett, congratulations on a job well done.
Thanks so much.
And so we leave the USA and head across to Holland for round 12, the Dutch Grand Prix, 125 World Championship, and it's still all about two men, Coyote and Puzar. Who is going to take it all the way to the wire? Last minute chat, Kiko Coyote talking to one of his supporters and the man that set fastest time in practice. Mr. Eggins did a great job, very, very quick this morning in practice, and that's got himself right into pole position on the grid. Coyote is the man to beat, super confident, super smooth, super short in height, super tall in stature, and he's looking to pick off a world championship. Nice to see Bobby Moore from the US back again. A lot of silly injuries right throughout the year, and away they go. Round 12 of the 125 World Championship, and out the gate very, very quickly, Federici gets it all together. Nice to see Van Drumen up there with them as well. Nice to see DOBB. Well, DOBB on an absolute high. He's aboard the Rob Hooper Suzuki, and rumours were confirmed in Belgium that regrettably DOBB will switch to Cat Finning Honda. And I say regrettably because he's done a wonderful job of work for Rob Hooper and for Suzuki during this year. Well, two riders go down. They're going to have to get themselves unscrambled pretty quickly. The race goes on. It's certainly not going to wait for them. So they'll need to get themselves going very, very quickly indeed. Up front, Coyote doing what he knows best, but Puzar will never be far away from him. Our race leader at this stage, still Federici. And we said it time and time again, it's really Coyote that has been super, super reliable right through the year. Vial has been quick, Federici has been quick, Puzar has been very, very good, but Coyote has just been super, super consistent, and that's what it needs weekend after weekend. It's been a disastrous year for Cadbury Boost rider Paul Malin. When he has been back, he's done exceptionally well and gone to the front very, very quickly, only to crash out again or have problems. And it really has been a terrible year for him. Hopefully 98 will go a whole lot better, and we'll see the Cadbury Boost Yamaha Paul Malin back in the front where we know he belongs. Right now, back at the Dutch Grand Prix, Coyote doing some work. He knows that he cannot afford to get hurt. He cannot afford any DNFs. He needs the points now very, very badly. He's just got to bank them heat after heat, and either today or in a fortnight's time, he could be the new 125 world champion. Well, the track is getting more and more difficult as it starts to whoop out. It was already rough after practice, and now after heat one in the 125 GPs, you can see the condition there. You've just got to keep that wide, wide open, and they do on the 125s. They keep it cranked wide open, and really, you've got to keep going. Track very, very sandy, and to get that horsepower down onto the ground, these are small capacity machines, and it's not that easy on a 125. If you shut off, you ain't never going to get going again. So they're just going to keep it wide open. They clutch it through the corners, and they really do ride those machines very, very hard indeed. So Coyote certainly on the pace. He knows that Federici has made the running. I don't think he's too concerned about Federici. The only concern that Coyote will have is where Puzar is going to finish. And as long as he can keep Puzar under control, then I think Kiko Coyote must surely be thinking about another trophy for his cabinet, alongside a few bottles of best quality Italian wine. Well, he's certainly done the work. That's Jamie Dobb coming into the picture, Puzar behind him. And it just shows that Jamie Dobb, well, those are the true Coyote supporters, and they'll certainly be there when he takes the final checkered flag, if and when he gets the world championship that he so richly deserves. We cannot speak highly enough of Jamie DOBB. Went across to the States. They gave him a rough time across there. They didn't exactly welcome him with open arms. They made him work for every single result that he got. And now Jamie back riding out of the UK. He'll move across to the Cat Finning team for next year. He really has put in some very, very positive rides on that Suzuki. He's obviously got his confidence way up, and that's great. And of course, he'll represent Great Britain at the Motocross Des Nations, and that should get him really all set up for 1998. Well, it's been a long and hard year for all of these riders, and towards the end, they really do have to concentrate very, very hard. That man, Coyote, every fortnight he's been back and done a job of work, a great job of work for the Yamaha people in Europe. Yamahas have finished most weekends first, second and third, and certainly Yamaha must be overall very, very pleased. So a win for Federici, number 25. He takes the checkered flag. Very, very good ride for Van Drummen, and I'm sure Coyote has picked up some very valuable points. He knows it. Coyote has done enough. Kiko Coyote has done enough. Finished third overall in the first heat. That makes him the world champion for 1997. A great win for Coyote, a great win for Yamaha. And Pouzard, well, he knows he's done enough, but not to take the world championship. So a great win for Kiko Coyote. He's done enough. The little tiny man, a very, very popular winner. He said that he would shave his beard off as soon as he became world champion. So you can look forward to seeing Coyote naked very, very soon. And so straight back down to the line for Heat 2. Mr. Pouzard looking quite happy and quite confident. Vial on the line, Jamie DOBB next to him, and they've got it all to do good. Number 10, Bob Moore. This is the last time we'll see him in a GP. He will take on the role of management in the US next year, and what a popular rider he has been across in Europe this year. So into the first corner for the second heat. A pile of dust. Somebody has gone down there. I don't know if it wasn't Carl Nunn that went down in that pile of riders. Well, we'll pick up that position very, very quickly. Number 26, Eggins, has gone out like an absolute barnstormer. We said earlier he was very, very quick in practice this morning and made it look all very easy. Then Van Drummen having himself a very, very good ride. And then the little man, the Italian, the new 125 world champion on his Yamaha, Kiko Coyote. He must be very, very relaxed, and I'm sure he's going to put in a last very, very good race here today. The second heat of the day, absolutely nothing to lose. He can just relax, and he can rock and roll with the best that there are there. Well, it's been an interesting year. It's been a hard year, and Coyote has just been superb. And I have to say again, those Yamahas, I've not seen the bike falter once throughout the year. He's been there every time. The bike has not let him down. His pits have not let him down. And he's put in a sterling job of work. In fact, all the Italians, and I think when it comes to Belgium, those Italians are going to be very, very hard to beat at the Motocross Des Nations. The problem is, of course, that they sometimes ride out of their specific class. Like we've seen Everts riding a 125 at the Des Nations for a couple of years. They sometimes ride out of their class. And if Coyote has to ride at 250, that might well be a problem. He can only just reach the floor as it is. So maybe they need to put him on an 80 for the Des Nations. Coyote, bike number 121 on the Yamaha, the new world champion. He's done enough, and he takes a salute in the second heat. Very, very popular. That's his final heat of the year. He takes the win. And we'll have a look and see what his spoils are. Firstly, he's got the number 1 plate. That's what it's been all about for the whole year. What a reward for Yamaha and for Coyote. The number 1 plate, he's worked a long, solid, hard year for that. He also gets a kiss and a bunch of flowers, and the opportunity to talk to Motovision's Bob Moore.
Una famiglia che è riuscita ad arrivare fino in fondo e ce l'abbiamo fatta.
He says he wants to thank the team very much because after signing with them the end of last year, they worked very well together. They work like a family, and he can't thank them enough for this title.
And the last and final word from a retired Bob Moore.
12 seasons in Europe. Is it really all over for you?
Well, for me, it's over in one sense, but I start anew. You know, I start again like a new life for me. I go back to America. I stay involved with motocross. I'm working for another team, Honda, but anyways, for me, I'm very excited because to go back to America now, which is what I was planning on doing anyways, and for me to get a job like this is the best. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better. I'm really blessed as far as that went. So I'm really excited. I go home. I'm going to be still involved with riding a lot the bikes, testing and suspension, motor, and being behind the riders a lot. So I'll still be involved with racing a lot, and also I get to go to all the races. So it's going to be a little different, but it's still the same.
You're going to get to go all the races, but are you going to be racing at all? AMA Nationals?
Well, that's, I haven't completely said no or yes that part. Honda did say that if I wanted to do the Nationals, they would give me a bike. But, I just have to wait and see how everything's going in the beginning of the year. I'm going to have a lot of work to do this winter. As soon as I go back next week, I already start testing tires and different things. So I have a lot of work in it, it's going to take a lot away from training and stuff, and the things that you have to do to be a professional racer is completely different than what you have to do to be a team manager. So if I feel that my speed is good and my condition is also very well, then yeah, I might do some nationals next year also.
1994, the one world title. Do you look back at that sometimes and think perhaps that should have been more?
Yeah, but still, I'm very lucky to even. I'm happy I even did that one. I still think about that almost every day. Shoot, I was world champion. For me, I did everything that I wanted to do in Europe. I won a world title. I won over 29 GP races. I got over 2,400 something points. I was 3 times vice world champion once in the 250. Yeah, I wish maybe those 3 vice world champions would have been world champion, but still, for me, I won the world championship at least once, and that was what I came over here to do, and it took me 9 years to do it, but anyways, I did it. So the years after were, I did the first year after the world championship, I went to 250, and it was kind of tough, but still, I was there, and then I got injured, and then every year from then I've been injured, so I can't really say that I did really bad after that, but still, I got
one world title is a lot more than a lot of guys have ever had.
That's right. Yeah. For me, I think about it a lot, and that season it just nothing went wrong. I mean, you start out the year and I won the first race, and after that, I won over half of the races that year, so it was a perfect season.
Well, we started in 91 and we've enjoyed 6 years of your company. It's going to be fairly difficult to find a replacement, but everybody at Motovision, the fans in Great Britain and Ireland that have enjoyed you race so often, wish you every success in the future.
All right, thank you. And on that note, I'm going to be leaving this season, but I've already sketched into my calendar for next year Fox Hill or whatever track it's going to be for the 125 and 250. I want to come to England and watch, and also I'll be able to stay hopefully a week and hang out with you guys and do some golf or something.
Hey, Bob Moore, thanks very much.
Thank you.
And so we leave the 125 GP scene in Holland and travel across to Switzerland, to Roggenburg for round 14 and the penultimate round of the 250 GP series. Stefan Everts, once again the new world champion, eyes down and they're ready to go. First heat of the day. One more event after this, and Everts must be very relaxed with the new crown under his belt. He's worked hard for it. And there's the man that started the season so well, Mike Brown up front. Well, he started the year off in incredible style. He had a couple of mishaps on the way, and all of a sudden Everett says, hang on, I'm the new world champion. I don't need any Americans to show me how to ride. I'm in front of the Swiss fans, and I'm doing what I know best. Yves de Maria, number 4, He has moved on to that machine basically due to Tortelli being sidelined. He has now signed, in fact, for 1998 to ride alongside Tortelli, and it would appear that both Tortelli and De Maria will race out of Europe for yet another year. Although Tortelli had his sights set on going to the US of A, it looks as if he's going to stay in Europe, riding with Kawasaki and Yves De Maria next to him. Well, Stefan Everts, he's just been faultless all year round, and he just slots in another one with Pit Byra right behind him. So back to the line for Heat 2 of the day in Switzerland, round 12. Well, look at Mike Brown. He started the year on an absolute high, and he wants his name in lights before going back to the US. Someone has gone down. Somebody is at the bottom of the pickup sticks. I wonder if it's not. Oh, Yves De Maria. You can see the Oxbow shirt very, very quickly. So the paramedics attending to Yves De Maria. That's not good news. He's done very, very well since getting onto that Kawasaki. And go to town, Mike Brown. Well done. Number 5, Frederic Bolle. Well, we know that Frederic Bolle has signed to ride on Honda for next year alongside Stefan Everts. But oh, Everts, you won't see that too often. And he just clutches the bike and says, that's just for the crowd, just to show them that I do drop it occasionally. I don't remember having seen Stefan right throughout the year drop the bike. And look at the ride that Pit Byra is having. Pit Byra has got better and better as the season's gone on. If his supporters can motivate him well, on supporters and friends, Pit Byra must have more than his fair share. A very, very popular rider indeed. So Stefan Everts takes it again. What more can you ask of that man? Mane Befoots is there as he was last year. And so to Geldorf in Germany for round 15 and the final heat of the 250 GP. Well, that's one way to come down to the starting line. Everts is already the new world champion, but there's still valuable points in it. Talon Volan throwing his shirts and his tear-offs to the crowd. And a wonderful landing. What a way to spend the day. Well, a great start. That is the new king. Stefan Everts, 96 and 97, 250 world champion. Yves De Maria, nice to see him back after that crash a couple of weeks ago. And Yves De Maria on the Oxbow Kawasaki. That is another bike prepared by the master from Holland. Well, we wonder when we'll see Tortelli back. First corner, and already look who's in the front. Stefan Everts. This is what the fans have come to see. Some incredible supporters all around Europe, and a very, very popular rider. Stefan Everts has certainly come out of his shell a lot more in 1997. He was very, very reserved. Over the couple of years that Albertyn was in Europe, he was the Belgian fan. That's who the supporters came to see. But he rode under a lot of pressure and was very, very reserved. He's come alive this year, talking to the crowd, talking to the fans. A lot more of an extrovert this year. And under his new management, certainly looks very, very confident indeed. He is the new world champion. He's done an amazing job for Honda. A lot of the Yanks said that that bike was almost not rideable. Stefan Everts said right from the first race in the season, I'll turn it into a world championship race-winning bike. And he's done exactly that, and well done to him for that. So the SkyMaster Honda KTM, by the looks of things, no, it's the Champ Dog Foods KTM that comes to a standstill at the side of the track. He has got himself a problem, but that man has absolutely no problems whatsoever. He will go, I'm sure, all the way in Geldorf. Talon Volan, what a pity that he crashed so heavily in his second Grand Prix of the year. Then he went to Fox Hills and crashed again, and it just wasn't his year. Mike Brown, he's had a fairly mixed year. Mane Befoots has been on and off, but Volan is the one man that could have really kept it all together and done a very, very good job indeed. Jockey Carlson out there as well. Well, on a good day, he's been up there with the best in the country. Paul Cooper, he's been plagued with a lot of injuries as well. So for 1998, it really is all to play for. I'm sure Talon Volan will stay in Europe for yet another year aboard that Yamaha, and he's the one man that could perhaps upset the crowd. But Stefan Everts, He really has been like a robot all year long, and I'm not sure who's going to beat him in 1998. Voland, perhaps the man that could do it. Paul Cooper also rumored that he might go across to Europe. Of course, Frederic Bolly, the man that you see in your picture there, number 5, he will move to a Honda and ride alongside Stefan Everts, and of course Tortelli will be back as well. Well, there's a lot to play for. Whoever can beat Everts must surely be very, very worthwhile of being the new world champion. But it's going to take a lot of doing. They're not going to take the crown away from Stefan Everts too easily. Well, I wouldn't like to put my money on any one of those riders. Pit Byra, for me, has got better and better. That's the man coming into your picture now. The rumours are that he'll ride for Palmo Honda again in 1998. He really has been superb in the last couple of races. He's put in a couple of rides that have been absolutely super quick. And you can see him now on the tail of Stefan Everts. That's Everts on the full house HRC Honda. And Pit Byra, well, certainly on the pace. And on a good day, Pit Byra more than capable of running with Stefan Everts. So that could be one of the riders for next year that will bring this whole series alive. Manu Bafutz, of course, he was there in 96, he was there in 97. Always the bridesmaid and never the bride. That could change, and really I have to say for Manu Bafutz, it would be very, very nice to see. He certainly has put in the effort, works very, very hard at his racing. He just needs the dice to fall the other way, and Manu Bafutz could be there. So some top names: Everts, Byra, Tortelli, Bolle. Any one of those could pull it off next year. But back to 1997. That's what the crowd have come to see. The Belgian flags are out. The air horns are going. Stefan Everts, another batch of points in the bank, and a great job done by him. So Everts wins, Pit Byra second, and it looks like Talon Voland will get third. Well, Stefan Everts has done it again. A kiss and a bowl of flowers, and back to the line straight away. This is the final heat of the 250 GP year, and a long year it's been. Look at number 4. Look at that Kawasaki. That is the man that's standing in effectively for Sebastian Tortelli, and he has done a great job. But Pit Byra, perhaps the man to beat next year. We'll have to wait and see. And so to the last 250 race of the year. And then the Supercross series will start, and they're out in front, riding for Palmo Honda. Pit Byra goes to the front. He wants to fly the flag. He knows in just a couple of weeks' time, he will go across to the Motocross Des Nations, where a lot of sponsors will be looking, a lot of eyes will be looking to see when he takes on the best in the world, including the Americans as well, what he can do. Well, right now he's taking on the best in the world, the best in Europe, in the form of Stefan Everts. So, 2 Hondas. That is Pit Byra, the ever-popular German rider. He rides outdoor motocross, he rides indoor supercross very, very effectively indeed. And right now he is leading the 96 and 97 current world champion on the HRC Motrex Honda, Stefan Everts. I'm sure Stefan Everts has had a very, very tiring year indeed. He's got the crown yet again. He really has done a great job for his sponsors. He is a pleasure. I spoke to him recently at a presentation that Honda put on, and he really just does do everything by the book. Very, very nice to see a professional sponsored rider under the very close guidance of Dave Grant. Dave has given him a lot of management help, and perhaps that explains why his new attitude has come about, and he certainly is a lot more user-friendly with the press, but he's not going to be user-friendly with Pit Byra. He wants to go to the front. He is the world champion. He wants the applause. He wants the Belgian flags. Remember, this is the national sport in Belgium, and the Germans take it pretty seriously as well. They really do. They love their motocross right across Europe. It is great. Look at this for a move. This is incredible stuff. Stefan Everts has got nothing to prove, but he just says, I don't want to be beaten. I want to make Pit Byra work very, very hard. If he wants to get up on the top step of the podium and kiss the young lady with a short skirt ahead of me, then he's going to have to work for it. So, with that, Frederic Bolle on the Kawasaki, and he has done a very, very good job throughout the year of supporting Sebastian Tortelli. He will have to support Stefan Everts next year. I don't believe he'll be on an HRC Honda, but he will certainly be on a very, very quick Honda indeed. Look at this to the wire. This is Pit Byra, and that is Stefan Everts, the world champion. and the two of them are going to take it all the way at Geldorf. All the German supporters are out there. Jockey Carlson having a good finish to the season as well. Mishka Altonen on the champ KTM, and then Marnik Befutz and Frederic Bolle. Frederic Bolle, the French rider, and then Talon Volan from the US of A. And from what we hear, he will definitely be back in Europe for 1998. I think Marnik Befutz is going to stay with the same team that he's with at the present time. Those deals, of course, will all be put together over the next few days. And by the end of the Motocross Des Nations, most of the people should be signed and sealed and put together for next year. So Bolle definitely going across with Honda, and he'll also come under the management of Dave Grant, riding for Honda Europe. So Pit Byra has almost done enough. Wouldn't it be nice to finish the last heat of the day? But look at this stuff. Stefan Everts has come alive. He says, never mind calling me Ronnie Robot. I'll show you that I can run with the best. And really, when Pit Byra has a good day, he is very, very quick and very determined. So Pit Byra is really riding very, very quickly on that Honda. I don't believe it's up to the same spec as the machine that Stefan Everts is on, but it's perhaps very, very close. And there they come out of the corner. Stefan Everts has gone to the front. Pit Byra as well. Second place for me is fine. I'll just catch a quick riding lesson around these next few corners, because they know, and Stefan Everts will know, that a checkered flag awaits him. He is the new world champion. He wants to win at Geldorf, just exactly the same as he did in Switzerland a couple of weeks ago. And he will finish the year on an absolute high. And from here, he will go on to the Motocross Des Nations with one of the strongest teams. In fact, it's the same team that they fielded a year ago. And Belgium will go across with a very, very strong team to Belgium in a couple of weeks for the Motocross Des Nations and take on the Americans and see what they can do. But it's still Jockey Carlson. He's got himself his own little private battle going on there as well. Jockey Carlson, I'm sure he will sign again for RW. Oh, throw, that just spits him right off the bike. So that's Talon Volan. He's seen Mother Earth once or twice this year. Had an amazing crash at Fox Hills. He crashed in the second GP of the year, going down that very, very steep hill when we really don't know what happened, but he threw it away big, big time and injured himself quite badly. So the crowd on their feet for Pit Byra. Where is Stefan Everts? There's Stefan Everts. So he has gone back to second. Pit Byra has gone back to the front, and you can hear that from the air horns. Stefan Everts says second's okay for me. Pit Byra will take the win. Look at the German flags. He really is the king in Germany. They love him to pieces, and he just stops on the top. He's got all his chainsaw supporters. Palmo Honda, a great win for Pit Byra. Well, it's always nice to finish on a high note, and Pit Byra has certainly finished on a high note. That is the end of the 250 GP series. It's been an incredible year. Stefan Everts started off so well. Talon Volan crashed his brains out early in the season. Pit Byra got stronger and stronger. Tortelli showed that he can run with the best. De Maria came good. Pit Byra came good. But let's now think about 1998. And so for the final showdown on the motocross calendar for 1997, we go across to Nîmes in Belgium for the 50th running of the Motocross Des Nations. Well, the Euros finally got their chance to show the Yanks what it was all about. The Americans were back with a very, very formidable team. Down on the line for the first race of the day, a lot of whinging and moaning, a lot of mud, a lot of slush. But it was the same for everybody. The first riders to go down were the 125s and the open class riders. For the UK, Jamie Dobb was down there, Kurt Nickel was down there, and for the Americans, Steve Lamson was there, and Jeff Emig was there. Who was going to show the way around? 35 to 40,000 spectators. They put a lot of water down last night. Into the first corner, they go together. Emig is there, Kurt Nickel is there. Well, they're all going to just take one lap, I'm sure, to have a look at this. The mud is ridiculous. There's no other word for it. They flooded the track last night. It was, I would have thought, totally unnecessary, but that's the way it was. The same for everybody, and you can see half a lap completed. The riders are covered in mud. When they went past the pit area, a lot of goggles being thrown away already. Well, that man's throwing nothing away. Kurt Nickel, riding for Great Britain, has gone to the front. Emig, well, whether he's brake testing or whether he just got bogged down, Emig stopped and a couple of riders went into the back of him. The end of lap 1, Kurt Nickel has gone to the front. Judging by his shirt, I don't have to tell you which country he's riding for. He is flying the Union Jack and doing an outstanding job on the KTM. Look at the condition of these bikes and riders already. This is going to make it very, very difficult indeed. Jeff Emig was not happy when he went out this morning because they'd pre-qualified. They didn't have to race earlier in the day, but now he's had a look at the track and really the mud is way out of order. But hopefully it will dry out, and by the time they get to the final showdown this afternoon, look at it, he's just looking across. That's Emig, eyeball to eyeball. You can't get closer than that. That's the man that everybody has come here to beat. And of course, the talk is all about Stefan Everts and Jeff Emig having a showdown in the final race this afternoon. The Italian riders are out there, the Swedish riders are there, the Dutch riders, they've come from Australia, from South Africa, from Norway. They really are the best riders in the world. Well, they've set the pace very, very early in the day, and already you can see Joel Smets is now having a go at Jeff Emig, and really you cannot get better riders than this. The conditions are difficult. The European riders may well be a little more relaxed about the conditions, but they're not easy. So Smets in the Belgium shirt, he'll be riding, of course, alongside Stefan Everts as well. So a very, very formidable team in there. And then you've got Federici riding for Italy. And what happens in the Motocross Des Nations, it's no good Kurt Nickel winning the race and Jamie Dobb being stone last. Jamie Dobb has got to be very, very highly placed on the 125 bike as well, because it's a combination of the two riders that carry your points through. So 5 out of the 6 heats, or 5 out of the 6 combined heats will count. Then you start doing the adding up and you see, but both riders have got to score. Obviously, if there's a DNF during the race, you can drop that one, but that's your lot. So you've really got to get the points on the board very, very quickly, and both riders have got to do a good job of work. And I can tell you that right now, you can see with your own eyes that Kurt Nickel is doing an outstanding job of work, but more important, Jamie Dobb is supporting him in the most incredible fashion. Jamie Dobb is right up there with Steve Lamson, rated as perhaps one of the quickest, well, he is one of the quickest 125 riders in the world, and Jamie Dobb doing an excellent job of running right with him at the moment. So Befoots is there as well. There's Jamie Dobb. Jamie Dobb has got it well under control at the present time. That's Steve Lamson with a problem. Steve Lamson has dropped the bike right in front of his pits, and he's taking a long time to get himself together. Now, that gives the Americans a problem, because although Jeff Emig is running second at the moment, his backup rider, which is Steve Lamson on the 125, has now dropped down the field quite a long way. Kurt Nickel is leading the race, and Jamie Dobb will, of course, move up a couple of places as well. But having said that, Smets is doing an outstanding job for Belgium. And where is Smets' number 2 rider? We'll try and pick up that in a couple of seconds and see where his support man is on the circuit. So Jeff Emig certainly circulating very, very well indeed, but he will not have been told, or won't have time to know, that Steve Lamson has technically gone missing from a very valuable position. So Jeff Emig's points might well be all to no avail. Well, we can now see Frederik Bolle coming into the frame and Joel Smets on the... Look at the head shake. You've got to be brave and you've got to be a mighty big man to hang on to the front end of a Husaberg. Eventually it gets away from him and he runs very, very wide. So he will go chasing after Frederik Bolle. Meanwhile, the 125 rider, he's doing fine for Belgium as well. So Jeff Emig still trying to take tear-offs off as fast as you can. You don't want to throw those goggles away unless it's absolutely necessary. So Smets now having moved up as well. Kurt Nickel still in the front. Jeff Emig still in second place. Oh, and he goes down. That is Frederik Bolle that has gone down. So that's a valuable place that he's going to lose. Kurt Nickel takes the win. Well, he will be delighted, and so he should. And someone's going to tell him very, very quickly, Jamie Dobb's not far behind you. Well, an excellent job done by Kurt Nickel. Well done from the KTM factory people. He'll be back down on the line for the final race of the day. But now it's up to DOBB and Eastwood. Mark Eastwood will now come out on the 250. Jamie DOBB will ride immediately again. He's back on the 125. What a great job he did in the first race of the day. Now, of course, we've got Jockey Carlson in there. We've got a whole new batch of riders in the 125 and 250 class combined. In the corner they go for the first time. Pichon got the whole shot, but it looks like Jockey Carlson that went running down the mountain. Jockey Carlson running alongside his bike. Pichon, the way I saw it, got the whole shot, and he came out very, very quickly. And Kiko Coyote on a 250, well, can you believe it? He can't even reach the floor. Coyote, the new 125 world champion, riding for Italy on a 250 and doing very, very well at the moment. Vial is up there as well. Number 2, John Dowd, riding for the US of A. That's Vial. He's got the American rider behind him. We saw Jeff Emig earlier on. We saw Lamson. Lamson had a problem in the first race of the day. Now it's Lamson and John Dowd. And all of a sudden, Vial and John Dowd, they want to rub shoulders and crash bars together. Well, they want to keep out of that. Number 16, that's Shane King, the very, very popular 500 open class champion from last year, or from 97, and across riding with his brother. And the New Zealanders up in the pits, very, very popular crowd of guys in Belgium this weekend. Well, racing now goes all the way around the circuit. Number 8, that's Stefan Everts. That's the man a lot of these Belgian supporters have come to see. He now wants to start mixing it with Vial as well. Everts tries to go around the outside, but there's no space. Belgium very, very highly fancied to win the motocross Des Nations over the years. England have won it more times than anybody else, then Belgium, and then the USA. But the points are getting closer and closer. And certainly the USA always in the last 10 years have come across as favourites. They had a problem in the first race of the day. England had a wonderful result. Now we have a look at race 2, and the Belgians doing better and better. Stefan Everts starting to move up, but of course again he's going to have his 125 rider. That's Mane Befut. He'll have to turn in a very, very strong ride as well, because although Smets got good points and Kurt Nickel got good points in the first heat, they've got to carry it through right to the third event of the day, and they start doing some adding up. And with a fairly complicated scoring system, it's fair for everybody, and at the end of the day we'll see which country can slot them all together and take the overall trophy. So John Dowd and Kiko Coyote, they're having themselves a great ride at the present time. The mud is starting to dry out just a little, and I'm sure by the third race of the afternoon and the final race we're going to see a very, very different circuit. But at the moment, track conditions are still difficult. The racing has been absolutely superb. The second race, the track has certainly been in much better shape. That's the step down. They tried to do all 3 in practice yesterday. Jeff Emig was the only man to try it. It's a long, long, long step down, and it just doesn't work. You go right into the cheap seats, and you cannot stop at the bottom of the hill. Back to the front of the pack, and Stefan Everts now starting to pick up the tempo. He is a professional. He's the new world champion yet again. He will have been told exactly what he's got to do. He now comes up behind Coyote on a 250. So that's the current 125 world champion and the current 250 world champion, almost side by side. And Coyote, he looks small on a 125. He looks mighty small on a 250. So Stefan Everts, you can see the Belgian flags. You can hear the air horns. Up the hill they go. The power of the 250 from Everts just says, let's get on with the job. I've got to keep going. But Coyote, quite happy to stay there. He can ride with the best that they are. A very, very experienced rider, as we've seen all throughout 1997. But Everts has got to get some points on the board quickly. Smets has done a very, very good job. Befut's running in a very strong position as well. But Everts will want to get past Coyote because those are very valuable points. The Italian team also have done well. Look at that for an inside move. Well done to Everts. He just dived inside, took a handful. You can even see a puff of dust coming out, but Coyote hasn't given up. They go along the tunnel together. Everts moves across the circuit. Then they will go underneath the tunnel and hook left, and Everts will go charging after John Dowd. Everts is a man to respect the Americans, but he certainly doesn't fear them. He went to Unadilla and put on a great display of riding against the best in the world, and really came back from that on an all-time high. He knows that he can run with the best. Look at the relaxed attitude, just takes the tear off, peels it off, gets back on the loud pedal, and away he goes yet again. Jamie Dobb, bike number 41, he's flying the flag for Great Britain. He has really done an outstanding job of work. In the first race of the day, he looked very, very positive when he and Kurt Nickel banked some very valuable points indeed. Now it's up to Dobb and Eastwood. Eastwood also having a very, very strong ride. So if the two British riders can finish Heat 2 in the positions where they are, they'll be fine. But John Dowd has got a problem. That's a major setback to the American team. Steve Lamson had a problem in the first race. Now Dowd's got a problem. But Pichon, he doesn't have a problem. What a great ride for the German. Stefan Everts is almost certain to finish second. That will be a big plus for the Belgium riders. And behind Stefan is going to be bike number 24 for the Italians. And so some very quick adding up, and let's tell you what the position is. Italy on 25 points. Belgium on 25 points. England on 25 points. Everything to play for. What a weekend in Belgium. It's down to the wire. The Yanks are not looking good. Belgium looking good. Great Britain looking good. And of course the Italians are always there. Who's it going to be in the final heat? Well, on the outside, we can see the Belgium shirt of Joel Smets. He got an outstanding start, but there's somebody ahead of him. It's a Honda. It's a Honda. It's the German. It's the leader of the chainsaw gang, Pichon. Look at the German flags. Well, they'd better get the stars and stripes out because Jeff Emig has gone to the front. Now the track is in superb condition. Look at the three of them. Jeff Emig. That's the man that they've all come to beat. He has won the indoor supercross and the American outdoor. Pichon, well, he just doesn't care less today. He's thrown caution to the wind. Pichon is there, Smets is there, Jeff Emig is there. Jeff Emig cannot carry the Americans through. Dowd had a problem, Lamson had a problem. They are not on the leaderboard, but Jeff Emig has got a point to prove, and he wants to show why he is the top rider in the US of A. And I'm sure Pichon has got other ideas, and so has Stefan Everts. Remember, Stefan Everts is the dark horse. He will not want to get tangled up in a race at the front. He knows he's got a job of work to do. He and Joel Smets could possibly carry the Belgium team through to victory. But look at Pichon. That Honda of Pichon's has just gone to the front. He's gone past the Kawasaki of Jeff Emig, and that bike is hot. Jeff Emig, we've seen him in the States come out of the gate. That machine has got the best that money can buy, the best preparation in the world, and Jeff Emig, a super, super capable rider. So he's got Pichon ahead of him, he's got Joel Smets behind him. So it's Honda, it's Kawasaki, it's Husaberg. Joel Smets, the new 500 world champion. So riding for Belgium, we now have the 500 world champion and the 250 world champion. I guess you can't get better than that. Riding for the UK in this heat is going to be Eastwood and Nickel. Jamie Dobb has done his job of work, and a great job of work he's done in his two heats. Now it's all up to Eastwood and Kurt Nickel. Eastwood is very, very well placed at the present time, but we'll have to work our way through the field, pick up on the lap scorers as well, but we'll go back to the front and have a look. Number 21 will pick up on those riders. That's Jockey Carlson. He certainly got it together. There we saw a glimpse of bike number 8 and the yellow shirt. That's important. That's the man that we've got to watch very, very carefully, because there's no good having Smets at the front and Stefan Everts too far away. Well, down he comes. Stefan Everts, absolute professional. He will be told by the team manager on every single lap where he is and what he's got to do. It's a three-way fight between Italy, Great Britain and Belgium. Great Britain very, very well placed at the moment. Italy falling a little bit further behind, and I think on my reckoning, America have blown it, and that's unusual. They weren't happy about the track conditions, plenty of moaning, plenty of whinging, but better get on and do a job of work. Look at Joel Smets. Joel Smets has now come alive, and he really is doing a wonderful job of work. Look at Carlson. What a ride Jockey Carlson is having at the moment. Carlson is up front. Joel Smets is there as well. Well, they all want to take it to the wire. Who is it going to be at the end of the day? Remember, they're riding for their country. They're not riding for the individual. Joel Smets is very, very well placed. So is Eastwood. Eastwood in a very, very nice position. Now, bike number 8, that's Stefan Everts. He can see Joel Smets, and if they can stay there, I'm sure that Everts has been in enough motocross destinations to know that if he stays exactly where he is, they can pull it off, and there would be 40-odd thousand ecstatic Belgium fans. We've had a treat of a weekend, some wonderful music going on late into the night, and all the Belgium supporters have come to see that man do a job of work. Well, Pit Byra has been the man that was unbeatable earlier in the day. Now it's the chance of Joel Smets to show what he could do. He is the new open class world champion. Number 6, Frederic Bolle. Frederic Bolle is up there with him. Look at Pit Byra. Pit Byra is so far ahead of everybody else. He's got time to wave to the crowd. Overall, Pit Byra is going to take the win, but Germany are not on the podium. Pit Byra is going to take the win, but behind him, this is where the big news is going to come from. The Belgian flags are up. Pit Byra has won the race. The Belgians have won the Motocross Des Nations. Italy second, Great Britain third, and the Yanks go home licking their wounds.